And welcome back to the last hour of News Hour. It's about 2 minutes past the top of the hour. Danson Mungatana, Senator Tana River, and Busia Senator Okiya Omtata still with me in studio. That discussion coming up in just a second. But I'd like to take a look at some of your responses to the question we were asking tonight. And we were asking you if the country is ready for the rollout of the new social health insurance scheme. If you're ready and if the government has done enough to convince you that it's time to roll it out. I have a few comments now, and this is from Charles Achwea from Ukwala. This must be in the county of Siaya. He says he's not sure whether to support it or not. Is the government serious with this SHA business? Does it exist? Is it alive? I've registered but cannot upload my dependents even after visiting 2 Huduma centers and several cyber cafes. The system does not just seem to respond. Uploading dependent prompts. Right, that's Charles from Ukwala. Is Timothy from Cabernet is asking, is SHA another banding thing? The queries in it is suspect. And just one more before I can begin my discussion here is from is no name, but he says we shall accept the changes, but I think the government should look into the benefits and improvement of the cover that will benefit what people need, especially in the remote areas. John Kidongo from Bungoma says the government will not manage to register a big number due to lack of marriage certificates from most Kenyans. I don't know how this ties into this, but he seems to say lack of marriage certificates. I don't know if it's a requirement when you attempt to register for SHA. Please, John Kidongo, if you have tried to register and it's asking you for a marriage certificate, please share with us that comment on 22151 and a few more supports here. Just yes, a support shift, no name. It's a scam. The Minister of Health should tell us why they are shifting from the National Hospital Insurance Fund, and we'll try and educate you the most we can, because we'll be holding a town hall the coming week and try and get to understand what national insurance, the new scheme is all about, and what you stand to benefit, the packages and all. We'll have experts in studio, including from the ministry. Right, before we begin the discussion, let's take a look at a little bit of history now. This is the Bold newspaper. It's on the same day today, and this is from how many years ago? 8 years ago, September the 25th, 2016. And the headline is about politicians taking the battle for Kenyan skies. In show of might, more leaders acquire choppers in preparations for the 2017 elections. And the leading lights then was Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto, Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, and of course there was Musalia Mudavadi. As at the time, I think most choppers began to take to the skies in the campaign. So right, that was the headline. Nothing to relate to what we are discussing today. KANU CCM in talks with Jubilee men, but politics will just be politics. We will be taking you to the video of the week in a little bit. But first, my discussion here with Danson Mungatana, Senator Tana River, and of course Okiya Omtata. Okiya is from Busia. A lot to discuss tonight, but I'd like to go back to where we began. And gentlemen, you are lawmakers. Kenyans have entrusted you with the responsibility to represent them. Do you think from where you sit tonight and right now is the right time, gentlemen, to be discussing about censure, motion and impeachment? Because Kenyans are hurting a great deal, and I'll be talking about lack of funds even going to the counties, of which is your core mandate as senators. But do you think it's time, Danson, we're talking about censure? Is it time, okay, we're talking about taking off some people from the government in form of impeachment? Is it the right time? Because there's a lot that is going on in this country, gentlemen. Let me begin with Okiya.
Maybe tongue in cheek, I could say that when sharks devour sharks, the small fish have their way. Maybe when Ruto and Gachagua devour each other, the ordinary Kenyan will have a chance to get a leadership that is sober and that can work, because I don't see the value of either. I don't see the value of Ruto. I don't see the value of Gachagua, because It's under them and also from under the Uhuru government that you have seen all these funny deals that are designed to impoverish this country, to spirit out our resources. You had things like the SGR, you had things like, we are now talking about the Adanis and all these things. You are seeing things like this share or shift, whatever it's called. All these things coming together, and then you wonder what is happening. You look at things like CBC, whereby the poor can hardly cope with the requirements of that syllabus. So you just wonder what is going on in this country, that the republic is almost unrecognizable. You can't recognize a republic in what is going on. It just behaves like some wasteland. There's no republic in what is going on. And if you look at the institutions, maybe the nearest you can come to a republican institution in Kenya today is the military. It still retains that image of a Kenyan institution. You go to all these other institutions that have been tribalized. So where is the republic in all this? And so maybe when sharks devour sharks, the small fish can have their way, and then this country can be reinvented. So that's what I hope. Otherwise, I don't see any value in impeaching a pickpocket to leave a robber. Because the president is the commander-in-chief.
Are you saying that if they have to go, they go together?
Let them go. Let them go together. Otherwise, to me, what would have just for me ideal is what the Honorable Omtata did. A censure motion, call these people to order, and demand that there are some rules of the game laid down for them by Parliament, and saying, can you go ABC? If you exceed this, we are going then to get to the guillotine.
I'm going to Mungatana, but where would you vote if it comes to the Senate? The censure?
Well, I'll have taken an oath to be a judge. So I'll look at the evidence and the facts. But ultimately, in the Senate, what plays out is the politics. So those are the things we look at. But where I'm sitting today, in terms of...
give us a judgment where you're sitting today.
Where I'm sitting today,
yes.
In terms of what I've seen, I don't know what the intelligence could be. I've not seen gross misconduct in this gentleman, the vice president. I've not seen any breach of any law, local or international. He's not bankrupt. And he has not displayed any incompetence in a manner that is gross. So I think what is happening here, for me, the censure motion by Honorable Omtata was the ideal way to go. Okay. So if the thing came to me today, I would simply...
vote to censure him.
No. Yeah, censure, I would vote to censure him.
Yeah.
But impeachment...
No.
I would acquit. Okay. Because I don't see the evidence. But when we go there, I don't know what evidence they'll bring. There could be evidence that is not available in the narratives we are seeing.
Okay.
You know, sometimes these things are not a single story. They tend to be anthologies.
Okay.
So when they get there, you get some stuff you don't know.
Senator,
yes.
The right time to be talking about censure, the right time to be talking about impeachment in the face of everything that is happening in this country, especially now that you're on the government side. The fact that there are so many things that are unexplained. You've just seen that text from the gentleman from Siaya County, not understanding what SHIF is all about. Is it the right time that we are talking about censure? Is it the right time we're talking about impeachment?
I think a lot of Kenyans listening to me, they come from a family setup. Now, in the family setup, we have arrangements for maybe paying rent, paying the necessities, income generating activities or salaries or whatever it is that are going on in the family. But when mom and dad are not speaking to each other, when the older children and the family is not in harmony, then although the other activities are going on, this disagreement takes precedence and it must be fixed. So that's when you see uncles coming or pastor and so on to try and fix, because even if the entire businesses of the family are going on well, this must be fixed. So the politics must be fixed. when we say there's a problem at some offices, in fact, high offices, they must be fixed. So it's very simple. The issues that are surrounding Kenyans and the challenges, in fact, you people in the media covered it. Adani, they were before the Senate Committee on Transport. People who are talking about it. Other issues are going on. But you see, this one takes center stage because it is fixing the government, is fixing the politics. So it does not mean that the other things are not going on. And as you even have alluded to it, there are town hall meetings going on to explain the shift from NHIF to the new system. All these things are going on, but what occupies the center is the fact that we need to fix a problem. And my prayer is that it gets fixed in good time so that we can continue with the other things that run government. But those other things are going on. And I want to encourage Kenyans who are sitting there listening to us. These problems are everywhere. If you go to Uganda today, they have their own internal politics. It doesn't mean that they are not doing the other things. I told you we were having a session in Johannesburg. In South Africa, there are very serious issues going on because they have a government in South Africa, you have to get 50% of the vote for you to form government. ANC didn't get the 50%. So they brought in their nemesis, the Democratic Alliance, DA, to join their government. They have very serious issues. So everywhere, the issues are there and things are going on. But even there, you'll find the politics, they take the center stage. So we will chew gum and still keep walking. And I don't think Kenyans should lose hope or feel bad. The other things will be fixed as the issues around governance are getting fixed. That's my opinion. And I think we are going on well. As a nation, there are lots of mistakes, but the beauty of this thing, every time I take the continental stage to speak, people sit down and they listen. Because our country, when we are inside here, just like when you are in your house, you think, oh, dad should have brought me, the mom should have done that. Your neighbors are saying, I wish I belonged to that house. Mm-hmm. So I want to tell Kenyans, despite all our difficulties, our country and our nation is on a tangent that if we keep going, maybe we have slowed down, but if we keep going in the direction we are going, this nation will emerge strong.
I hear a justification. Yeah. I hear a justification, but sitting right next to you is a person who has the same mandate like you do. Yeah. And he says there's no business having these two gentlemen in the government because he doesn't find a reason to take Gachagua home and leave the president because they're the one and the same thing.
No,
and he's sitting right next to you.
No, they're not.
And you're saying things are working.
They are not one and the same. And my colleague knows we have prosecuted in the Senate a deputy governor without a governor. We have prosecuted a governor without a deputy governor. They have been brought before.
What is the difference between the two?
Because there are two different offices. One is the person who has been elected. The other one is a running mate. And I hold this opinion, by the way, that in the next constitutional dispensation, we should totally abolish the offices of deputy governors and the office of a deputy president. And if the issue is that in the event of incapacity or a problem, the governor will not be able to work, let us appoint the nearest circuit judge around there to hold for a period of 120 days, organize elections.
Or 90. Why are you giving it 4 months?
Because I think it's reasonable to give people 3 months to campaign.
Unreasonable. Or reasonable to give 3 months and 1 month
Same for the president. Let only one person be in that office.
Are you calling for a referendum? Because for you to change the structure of the government...
if you're paying attention, yes. I'm saying that in the next constitutional moment...
If we have it, okay.
We should look at the possibility of removing these offices because they are causing us unnecessary hullabaloo. The deputy president's office can be done away with. The deputy governor's office can be done away with. I'm saying the deputy president's office, if it is to hold in case of incapacity and so on, let the Chief Justice hold that office for a period of time, 120 days, organize elections, let's have a new president who is elected with a mandate. Now, of the people, if you were there many years ago, and I sat in a government where I served as an assistant minister, these were deputy ministers to the cabinet ministers who are sitting there. And when this new constitution 2010 was coming, there was a feeling, we must have assistant ministers. How does a cabinet secretary operate without a deputy? How do you do that?
And they have been for the last 14 years.
But, that's what I'm saying. But we did away with the deputy ministers, and cabinet secretaries have been operational. So I'm saying, in the next dispensation, let's do away with these deputies. If you want to run for president, run for president. Don't run, be carried by someone, and then when you sit there, you start imagining you're a co-president. Don't imagine yourself to be a co-governor. If you reign as a let's fix the governance system. Let's remove these doubts. If you are a man enough, get out and fight for that position. But don't wait. Somebody else is fighting to be governor, and then you are there. And then when you enter, you say you are co-governor.
You fight alongside.
There's nothing like fighting alongside.
If you wanted to be the governor of Tana River today,
yes,
you would want to get votes from wherever you can.
Absolutely.
And you would want someone to help you rally those votes.
Yes, but I don't have a deputy senator. There's no deputy member of parliament. So what is there's no deputy MCA. Okay. What is the justification of having a deputy governor?
Do you, from where you sit,
from where I see it,
yes,
you can actually run as a governor. And most people, they make that decision themselves. After that, they look, oh, there's a requirement. I need to have a running mate.
Let me find this person.
Let me find somebody who has a degree and who possibly will not disturb me, and then you go into it. And then later on, it turns out is a problem. So going forward for me, to fix the governance in the county governments and to fix the governance at the national level, let's do away with this.
Very radical.
We did away with deputy ministers and we have lived, let us do away with deputy governors, deputy county
very radical, Johnson, but I still hear justification. I still hear justification there that I would want to put it this way. Who knows the deputy president of Uganda? You would know, but not so many know, because there is nothing they are doing that antagonizes their president. They are not even in the line. Who knows the deputy president of Cyril Ramaphosa, for example? Even for Tanzania, even for Paul Kagame. So I think there's just something in our politics. But can I come to Okiya, the same question?
Well, first of all, I think Honorable Mgatana has missed a very important point. The comparison is comparing apples to oranges. You know, in the ministries, you have got the principal secretary, who is the executive. The ministers are virtually political figureheads. So, when you had ministers and assistant ministers, these were just political figureheads, but the executor of that office is the principal secretary. They used to call them permanent secretaries. Now, when you come to the governorship and the presidency, these are executive offices. And the only thing is that those who are appointed as deputies need to realize that they are spare wheels. The way a spare wheel behaves on a car, that's the way they're supposed to behave. Come in when there's a need. Not that you want to run, because you're a wheel, you want the vehicle to have 5 wheels. Let them remain as people who are waiting there.
Subs.
Yeah, waiting there for in case of an emergency, they'll step in. They will perform the issues, because if you have to have an election every time one person loses office, could also be very expensive on the country. So those are the dynamics we need to look at. But I think the question you've asked about Rwanda, Uganda, whatever, the deputies in those countries serve at the pleasure of the president.
They are appointed after elections.
After elections, and they serve at the pleasure of the president. But in our case, the deputy enjoys the security of tenure. He cannot be removed. And the removal process is the same as removing the boss.
Correct.
So he knows that he's like a boss of sorts.
Danson disagrees with you on both of them should leave.
No, on both of them should leave. I did not say that when you impeach one, the other should go. No, there are different officers.
Yeah.
But in this particular case,
what you meant is both of them are not
I
supposed
don't
to be
see
there.
anything to write home about in William Ruto. I don't say he should continue being a president. That's why people are saying Ruto must go.
No,
when I look at
I'd like to have a bite at that one.
When I look at Rigathi, I don't have anything to write home about him. So, when you have got two people at the top of the country who are basically dead weight
To who?
To the country, to the progress of this country, Ruto and another dead weight.
But that's according to you. Perhaps the people will
Yes,
justify
you
their
asked me
existence.
why I said
Yes.
the two should go, because I'm seeing them as dead weight.
Yes.
If you asked me what Ruto has done, in fact, Ruto did more for this country during the campaigns when he ran on a national platform. Other than another tribe. But now when he got in, he dug himself into a tribal cocoon, look at the appointments he made, and then he's going back to play the old script of playing this tribe against that tribe. And very soon we might get to a point whereby they're saying again the whole curse of this country, that 42 versus 1. We are heading there with this kind of politics. And that's what must be stopped. And yet this is the same Ruto, when the campaign was on, he was able to break that jinx by some reason to get us to a certain point. Now when he's in power,
Things are different.
things are different, and we are being driven to a point whereby we'll again stop developing this country and beginning to look at who is next to us. Who do you look like? Where do you come from? What is this? I'm not looking at your character and your abilities. So that thing of the Kikuyu being isolated as a group is coming, and it is morphing, and it is very dangerous.
But I need to take a quick break. But this has been occasioned, I know Danson wanted to speak, this has been occasioned by the deputy president himself, who has taken the role of being a villager and a mobilizer. It's no one who has gone to central Kenya and said, this is what needs to happen, okay?
Me, I'm saying what is morphing in, what is playing around. When I say like where the president is moving a lot and doing whatever, it's like there's a quiet mobilization of the other regions of the country. And of course now with the way Rigathi is himself also playing, that we are going to end up in a situation whereby you have got this dead narrative of isolating a whole community, the largest community in Kenya, and pitting it against all the other communities.
Okay.
And that is what has denied this country development.
Okay. You wanted to respond to this just briefly before we take a break.
I was just saying, I think Ruto as a president has done a lot. And me, I'm speaking at the continental level. When we invited him to our parliament, you know, the kind of reception that our president got, it elevated the whole of our nation with a lot of pride. And all these members of parliament were cheering him. Our president at the African level, he's currently been elected by or can we say selected by all the heads of state to be the champions of reforms of all the African Union organs. And you know also that he's also been selected to hold these things of climate change.
Yeah.
He's also
He
leading.
was sharing one today in New York.
Yes, he's also leading that effort. So in terms of putting us at the continental level, he has done very well. Not only that, even at the global level.
Yeah.
So I'm just mentioning one aspect. But the other new aspect about this president that wasn't there before, we people in the coast appreciate the fact that for the first time since independence, there's been a revival of the blue economy, you know. Money has been put there. For me, as a senator from an area which is bordering the sea, I have seen our BMUs, our beach management units, and all those places, people being empowered by our government to start, extracting the riches of the ocean. So this blue economy is a very big thing for us. A lot of fishermen are getting gear, fishing equipment and so on. And the other thing that he has done for us, and I mean, I'm talking about things I've seen in the coast, you know, the mining sector, you know, now they have mapped the regions that you know this is there, and then now we are working on those who might be called in to invest in that sector. In our place, you could not find the place they chonga nicely and remove value addition places, but then now there's a center that has been opened in Voi, where value addition is being done, so that the things that you are selling, you get more money than before.
Okay.
So I'm just picking one or two things that I can say there is a difference.
But you agree with me that charity begins at home. If the home is complaining, you can't take us abroad and say that abroad people believe the president has done a lot. I need to take a break, but just a minute there. I'll give you a minute to respond to that.
Young people are killed on the streets of Nairobi. Even a few days, people had disappeared, held for so many days. We don't know where these people are. We don't know what's happening. The police commissioner doesn't know anything. The president, his mom, is saying, if you know, bring me lists. Then these people turn up and whatever. And nobody seems to know what is going on in this country. You can't have a president running a country like that. As regards the blue economy, who was responsible for the current regulations that are extending this idea of our tuna, the tuna fish, being exploited by the Australians, by the Chinese, by the Indians, by whatever, because the Indian Ocean in tuna is barren. Tuna is only found on the East African coast, from Somalia to Tanzania to Madagascar, with the epicenter being Kenya. But we are not able to tap that resource, which would really turn around this economy, because the mandarins in government are making money through licenses, and they don't want to develop the local industry. So I don't agree that the cost is being given its full potential.
Okay.
They have been given some tokens, but the real potential has still been denied. If Ruto is serious, let him kick these Australians, kick these Chinese, kick these Indians, kick the Singaporeans, kick the Europeans out of the tuna market, and allow the local people to catch tuna fish, process it on land, and export it.
A good place to take a break. We still have a lot to talk about. We're still talking about Adani. And what about what's happening with the proposed National Health Insurance Fund? There seems to be a lot of misinformation and lack of confidence. I'd like to touch that with the senators when we come back, but let's take this break.